that she presumably didn't really know for more than a month or so. I just didn't feel like I was comfortable with that, and told her I wasn't, like, I'm not consenting to this, to you doing this. Like, I'm not comfortable with that at all. And she screamed at me for a solid probably 5 to 10 minutes at least on the phone. Heard narcissist, psycho, manipulator, delusional, a lot of the names that I've heard in the past from her over the years when she's gotten angry with me about something. And contact since then has been very, very minimal. Like, we were at a point where we were making some small talk over text throughout the day. But now I think she's doubled down on her desire for divorce. I mean, not to me, but to some of her family and close friends. She's calling this guy, she's seeing her boyfriend, that kind of stuff. So I think I may have set myself back quite a bit.
Well, hold on. So, like, how far are you through the reset right now?
So right now I'm in, I can't think of the name of it, I'm sorry, but I think it's about halfway through the third block.
Manic Control?
Yeah.
Okay, so that all of the way that you acted in what you're going to learn in Manic Control, that's what's making her feel like throwing out terms like narcissist and manipulative and things like that. And the more that you understand Manic Control, bring back the reflections to us, will help you undo that thought process, that mindset that was presenting those qualities. In actuality, most people are going to present a lot of narcissistic traits in a fight, right? Gaslighting, right? They have their own reality of what's going on. So if you start to make changes, for example, and she still thinks that you're the old guy, she's going to still assume that you are the old guy and treat you as if she's speaking to the old guy. And that's why it's really important to use Man with Impact, learn to respond, not react, etc. Okay. I wouldn't worry too much about the rest. You're just such a baby lord right now. So we have lots to learn. Here's the problem. Nothing that you do when you're talking about, I'm not really comfortable. I mean, you presented it in a fair way, should be reasonable. You're still married, right? I'm not comfortable with another man coming over. But here's the problem. She already doesn't respect you. She already is looking another way. She's going to push you harder to get you to prove that it's okay that she's getting this connection from someone else. Because the moment you start reacting is the moment she can go, see, told you, you're still doing it, which is why it's so important to use your Man with Impact. But as you go through Man in Control, we're going to be able to help identify the why, right? First, I want you to learn how to respond, not react. Start dealing with your anxiety. It's not comfortable hearing all these things. It's definitely not fun. It's frustrating when you are showing up differently and when you're trying to implement, but she's not in a program. That's why we're going to lead her, okay? So you're going to learn these skills and soften the blow. Create the peace pillar. Make safety a priority. Let her see she can trust you. All the while, you're this big bad car. She's running to the side of you. You got to keep showing up consistently. Now, the other problem with boundaries is we try to do this way too soon. That is disrespectful, right? That does suck. It hurts a lot, but it starts to make you lose your power and want to blame her. So I'm glad to see that you're not coming back with a bunch of, she's doing this, she's this, and it's all negative. You're just explaining what's going on. That tells me you're maintaining your power. This is a guy that will be able to step out of the nice guy triangle, continually show up. Okay. But we get so caught up in trying to, lay a boundary. This is what people tell you. You got to use boundaries. Lay a boundary. That's the dumbest terminology on the fucking planet. Because if they don't care, they don't understand, they're not empathetic, they're not compassionate. I don't care who you're talking to. They're not going to follow it. And this is why you can use boundaries in the beginning when you start a relationship. But you should be motivating that person with your boundary. It should be because the boundary is actually being laid on you. Right? Do you remember in Safe Reaction, the E was enforcing boundaries, right?
Right.
And almost nobody follows through on them. So here's the risk that you run, Matthew. You'll literally say, I'm not comfortable with that. Let's say that she starts blowing up. Well, I'm going to do whatever I want and this and that. What are you going to do about it? Literally, like we have to show up in a way where we not command authority, but there's a respect level there that we're equals, that she can at least think about co-parenting correctly and why that's not such a great way to be doing things with kids. you know, like obviously there's different ways to do things, but the moment you start lecturing on this stuff, because she knows all this stuff, all you're doing is giving her the fuel to feel better about the decisions that she's making, the proof, so to speak, that she's making the right decisions. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. I'm sorry, that sucks. It's not fun. A lot of lords are going through it, so just reach out and you'll be able to talk to men going through this exact thing. You know, there is a guy specifically dealing with that, where the man was coming over. I haven't seen him for a little bit, Sean Stokes, but you could tag him in the group, and then he'll be able to speak exactly to that. And that can be valuable as long as you don't sit in your pain and vent and bitch together. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Cool. All right. Todd, speaking of affairs, you messaged me and said that your wife is, she was very proudly, I think was the way you described it, very proudly explaining that she has a new emotional connection in her life. Can you give us the background, please?
Yeah, I mean, it all started this morning from like what I thought was normal conversation from work, and then as the usual happens, I ask, in this specific case, I just asked a simple question, and she started from, "Oh, that's a stupid question to ask," and then went all the downhill, just like it usually does, and then she said, "Oh, by the way, I'm already on the lookout." She has said that before, and every time she says that, I don't know if she's trying to get a reaction out of me, because she has never been able to get any reaction from me, like me getting angry or starting yelling or anything like that, because that's not who I am. I've never been like this our whole marriage, and she said, "Oh, I already have found somebody who." I can talk about everything, and I immediately get that connection, and stuff like that. So, of course, that kind of, I don't know, hit me hard and kind of made me mad internally, but I didn't react in any way, outwardly. So. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what she told me, and it's one of those things where I started wondering, is she trying to get a reaction out of me because she claims that our whole marriage I've been like this cold and distant person? Is she trying to get me to show some kind of an emotion, something that she can tell herself, "Oh, look, he cares about the marriage and all that stuff," and I'm just here sitting, not reacting to anything.
Well, you should be responding. You should be responding, not reacting, right?
Correct.
You turn to her and go, "Well, that's too bad. You're going to miss out on this guy," and think about what she actually wants. I mean, this is where affairs, men get so upset, right? And we talk about this a lot, guys. Men get so upset with affairs, and they're so hurt by it because how disrespectful. And yeah, there's morals, and yeah, there's rules, and yes, somebody should maybe stop before they start, and all this shit. But if we look at it fundamentally, the other rules of marriage are broken first. She said it to you specifically, emotional connection, right? Now, I know that you've been trying to emotionally connect, but when you evaluate and you reflect back and you think about saying exactly that, like I'm not reacting, sorry, but how well are you responding? How well have we pushed, the introduction to dates? How much of a lover, a player are we being, right? Are we creating enough of the magnets so that there is some sort of spark, and all of these things can lead to that emotional connection, which comes from the conversation, really, right? So if we're not utilizing Man with Impact, and we're not responding all the way, providing that adventure, being more curious, you're asking questions and she can say it's a dumb question. That tells me we haven't got into just simple questions. And the last thing is, don't assume she's testing you. Don't. Like, if you don't ever give her some sort of reaction, right? She might also be, the other assumption could be that she's looking for, that chase from you, some sort of like, does he even care? Sure. But potentially not. Your wife is just mad at you all the time. I want you to evaluate, like we have, you struggle a little bit. Did you hear Andy talk yesterday? Did you hear him?
No.
I think you should get on a quick call with Andy today. Just the way that his mindset has worked. We talked yesterday about moving forward with 1 foot in, right? It's kind of like going slower. A lot of men still move a little slower through the reset. And so we're not, the reset isn't designed to be slow. It's designed to show up all as this one guy so that when something like this happens, you're either inviting her or you're motivating with a boundary because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're proud of who you are. And I know that every time that question comes up with you, you're like, I could still do better here. I could still do better there. And I want you to just be the new man, right? Then we don't have to let this sort of thing happen. Potentially, it wouldn't have even happened.
Yeah.
Right? When I say all that, does that make you go, fuck, okay, it's time to like make a fucking move here?
Yeah, it does. I don't know. It's one of those things where you know how you talk about, imagine what would happen, like imagine the worst outcome. Actually, earlier today, I watched one of your reels when it said, accept the worst outcome, which is, your wife walks away and you can survive without her. So, I've already come to terms with that, but I don't know. I have a feeling that I've already kind of like started doing that, but the problem with that is maybe I started doing that too soon in a way that I have my wife telling me that there's no connection between us and all that stuff. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm approaching from the wrong from the wrong point of view, because again, she says all these things and I did get mad, but it's like, I would imagine, you get mad and then you do an action. For me, it's like, what I'm scared of is like this whole, I'm just indifferent to it. And it's like, I begin to think that maybe that's a character flaw that I need to work on. Cause it's like, why am I indifferent? My wife gave me 5 kids. She left her dreams she left her dreams to marry me, gave me 5 beautiful kids. She's been following me around since we got married, and all of a sudden I find myself indifferent. So that's the scary part for me, and
I think
that's what my wife.
I think you're letting this all be just way too complicated, dude. We attach from the outcome because we can survive without her. When you become the man that you're proud of, the man that's showing up, man, husband, father, leader in life, you can survive. It's just not what we want. I would die without Catherine. I love her. I want her by my side. But that's a separate issue from taking ownership of what you want to become, who you want to become, right? And when you start letting your brain go like this, you start wondering where she's really at. Then it starts making you question. You're going back to, well, she says she wants more of a connection. Fuck, that should have been motivation to drive you forward. Very few men, by the time you get to where it's really bad, very few men get the actual truth from what they are listening to or hearing from their wife. I dare say it would be the other way around as well, right? So when you hear words like connection, yes, it's not the actual truth, but that's like, okay, Cass, okay, Lords, how can I connect more? What am I missing from the reset? Right? And we're not actually so we make peace with the worst case scenario, but we're working towards the best case, what we want. Right?
Yeah.
Because then you start going through it. Okay, so what could connection mean? Well, there's many different levels. You could start looking at the rejection ladder, and you could start looking at just what conversations look like. We can't connect if we are affected by our mood, which is why your response versus reaction is so much more important. And then, how was your day? Isn't like, fine, fuck off. It's like, yeah, it was okay. And then soon it's like, oh my gosh, Cindy today, you'd never believe. Right? And then pretty soon you're exchanging a little banter. Non-sexual, I'm sure, but a little more fun. These are all levels of connection, right? You might think that mood is not, but it creates the environment for connection. It doesn't disconnect you if you're not affected, right? If you are affected, it disconnects you. If her mood drives you away, provides structure for a no tone in the home, then it's disconnected, right?
Yeah.
So the further that your wife gets away, or tries to find ways, she disagrees with you on parenting, for example. Okay. So she's trying to find a way to get mad at you, right? Okay. Now she's pushing you with this other guy who's emotionally connected to her. Okay. Don't let it affect you. You're still reacting by shutting down. It's still a safe reaction.
Yeah.
You're protecting yourself instead of protecting the future of the marriage. I want you to hop on a call with Andy today and just hear a little bit about like his next level. Pick up. Have you read The Masculine Relationships yet?
No.
Okay, you can read that book, but maybe even specifically jump right to The Art of Embodiment. But I think you'll get a ton of value out of. It's in the masculinity section of the Reset. I think you get a ton of value out of those two books, though. You really, really will. Okay.
Yeah.
You specifically reference me as like the father you never had. Okay. So what that is, when you break that down, is you're a nice guy is like wishing he had a better example because he doesn't like who he is now and he's thankful for the example. Okay. Now you have to follow the example. But your nice guy is going to sabotage that. Right? Become the not so nice guy. Shutting down is just as bad as blowing up. It's just different. It creates a different kind of loneliness or isolation, disconnect from your wife. Okay?
Yes.
Cool?
Yeah. Thank you.
You got it. So step 1, have a call with Andy. Step 2, read those books. Step 3, get back with us and let's make a plan to move you forward. Okay?
Yes.
All
Thank
right. You got it, dude. Okay. Jeff, do you need to talk about I talked to you about your card today and was like we should simplify it and everything. Are you good on my voice note back there?
Yeah, I liked it. I already ordered it, but I'm ordered that card knowing full well that I'm not going to get anything from it because that's just how it's going to be. That's just for me because I want to. I have zero expectations.
Well, yeah, 100%. Like that's the way you should be. You want to give the card.
Right.
I just in case anybody missed it. So he gave this really nice card, but it was all about how loving and supportive she is and how wonderful she is. And that's really just fluff because she's not anymore. In fact, she's anchoring him. Right.
She's angry at me, but she's very loving and supporting to the family. She was before all this.
Yeah, but she's not right now. Right.
Right now.
So
no.
You don't want to lie. That's happy wife, happy life. That's trying to you're just placating to her right now because it's your anniversary. So,
Right.
I don't think it's the end of the world because this opens up for you to be able to say, yeah, I'm going to have some fun with you because I miss that girl. I
Right.
still see you as that girl. And if you're firm and you're assertive about that, not aggressive, but I still know you're in there. Right? Smiling.
Yeah.
Right. I'm on your team, babe. We
Right.
we
They're
know.
trying to make it so it's not mushy, not overly romantic and all that stuff. It just, hey, been great 18 years. You showed up, you did what you promised you'd do until this last little part. So I don't know if that I'm kind of simplified. It don't really make a whole lot of sense. But.
Well, I think that it's more important to understand if you think about what the lovers list is for, the why you're beautiful, the why I think you're intelligent, the why you motivated me, the why I'm being grateful,
Right.
there would have been more effect if you could explain the why, which is where I'm coming from when I'm like, well, if she's looking at this and all the reasons she's so wonderful, and deep down she knows that you can't possibly think that about her right now, the way she's coming at you every day, right? You just, it's that nice guy lifting her up on the pedestal, right? Even though you're not
Like I said-
expecting something, you're still lifting her up with false. It's not true.
Well, like I said, that card was only like $9. They're really pretty cheap to make, so I can just get another one. Our anniversary is not till the 15th, so I got plenty of time. It only takes like 3 days for the damn thing show up.
Yeah, I would do that. But before you do that, post in the group again or send me a text with it so I can look at it, please. Okay.
Okay.
I want you to think from the heart. It's okay to say something that's true, you know? Even if you put there that's that last line, you know? I know she's in there and I miss her. You know?
All right.
It's okay.
Yep.
Okay? So let me look at it before you print it.
All right. We're leaving Saturday night, so I'll try to get it done and get it sent back to you here next day or two.
Okay, then text me. Don't do Discord. Okay.
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 Other than that, her mom is, I guess, kept her up all night, fucking hurting. So she's kind of in a shit mood. I just kind of been, well, I've been working, so I haven't really had much to deal with either one of them. But you can just tell she's just tired and just fucking itchy because she's tired, which is understandable.
Yeah.
So I'm just
You're looking too
trying to
look too
I'm trying to
far.
just love her through it, just let her be.
Yeah,
You know, hey,
exactly.
I'm gonna take the kids, go do this, and you know, if you need anything while I'm out, and just leaving it at that.
Yeah, don't do it like that. Like all the, you know, if you need anything, hey babe, I'm taking the kids out. Let me know if you need anything. You know?
That's kind
Okay.
of how I did it. Which she needed a break anyway. She's like, well, I'm gonna take our daughter. I'm gonna take her shopping anyway. All right. Well, I was gonna take them both, and you know, take them out to eat and just give you guys a break. 'Cause I know you're tired.
Yeah, don't explain it. Just do it. Right?
Yeah.
That's your need for approval. You just don't realize it, right? Just over explaining it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm slowly working it down. Getting it's taken me a long time. Been doing this for about a year, but I'm finally getting down to the just chill. My anxiety's kind of down to almost nothing. Just giving her space and her break, and just realizing, hey, she needs her time to figure her shit out. Just let her be and be the happy guy, and just have fun with kids while I'm here. That kind of thing. So, like I said, she's still in the house, so that's always positive.
Yeah, well, think more, like same sort of thing I was telling Todd. Just think more about going all in, just being the man that you're proud of, right?
Yeah.
That man will be able to do something if she's still so contemptuous. That man can invite her, lead her out of it in different ways. But until we get there, you sort of feed or enable the same behaviors, the same treatment that she's delivering to you. Okay? She can't possibly say you're manipulative if you just have been a different man all around overall. Right. And you know it and you deliver it with confidence and you're cool. You are chill, but you're fun. You're exciting. The kids are having a blast with you. And she's starts to get curious. Well, where are you going? Well, I am tired, but I'd love to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's how this whole vacation, because she wasn't going to come kind of thing, it's ended up being. She's saying that I'm not in my depressive mode that I was for 3 or 4 years. And I am here and showing up and making the plans that she always made. When she did vacation, she didn't include me because I was fucking checked out. And now I'm like, I'm doing the vacation. I've got everything laid out, and she just doesn't have to worry about anything. She can just chill. Cool. I see how much stress she was under fucking planning vacation. That's a pain in the ass.
Well, a lot of men, so a lot of my content, men get really upset, like if they start planning dates or if they start doing more around the house, and these men get so upset. Yeah, like there's this one guy recently on Reel, he's like, yeah, whatever, I cleaned the house like 14 times or spent all day with the kids or something. It was like the easiest job in the world. I replied with a picture of my kids had already destroyed the living room for the second time and they were only awake for 40 minutes. You know what I mean? Do I pick it up all the time? Does Catherine pick it up all the time? No. Right? But the point
Yeah.
is none of that. It's about doing it for approval. When you start showing up and you just start doing it because you're a partner, you start planning dates because you're a partner, you start getting involved is what it is. It's not babysitting your kids. It's not helping around the house.
Right.
It's being involved, being an active partner. Then down the road, when you're doing this together in a partnership again, right, as a team, then you guys will find strengths and each of you will do what you love doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But for now, we got to
I do.
show up, not be depressed when it doesn't work, not be anxious when she rejects you, not let insecurity hit you. You learn that response versus reaction and why you want that. Because it fucking feels good. It feels
Right.
way better. You know what I mean? When you start
Oh, yeah.
realizing that I'm joyful, I'm happy every day. I'm not feeling anxious. I'm not feeling insecure. I just feel good because she's not my source of survival.
Right.
And then you provide that life force to your family. Okay?
Yeah, I'm working on it. She did come up with right before this call, which I've been busy today working. I haven't had a chance to do dishes. I keep looking out going, fuck, I gotta do those because they're right in my left eyesight. She came up, she goes, hey, can you do the dishes? It's like I gotta get on call in a minute, so I'll get it to her in a minute. She goes, I just feel like I'm always doing dishes. Like, okay, I got it, no problem. I gotta get on this call and I'll get to it.
Well,
Which it does seem like the damn dishwasher had stopped going for like 3 days now, and no, she isn't the only one doing the dishes. I'm hand scrubbing them, doing them. Kids are doing them. It's just we've got a lot going on.
so she's just frustrated because she's been doing dishes for however many years, right?
I think it's
Whatever.
because she's been up all fucking night with her mom,
Yeah.
like literally all night with her mom.
Well, that's the thing. There's always something behind what's really coming up, right? And so at the end of the day, you didn't handle it poorly. And no problem, babe. I'm going to do the call and then I'll be taking care of it. It's cool. Like,
Yeah.
Whatever. It's a few dishes. You handle it well. It doesn't matter. And that's great. She can feel like she can breathe a little bit. You're taking the kids out. You're actually acting like a partner. She doesn't need to be together right now. She needs to be like resting, dealing.
Right.
She might
I think I handled it pretty good because a year ago I'd have been, the fuck, just have the kids do it.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit. It was kind of shitty to say that, but I can admit I did say it.
Well, and then that's good, by the way. And then you can also ask her later, hey, babe, do you want to talk about anything with you and your mom last night? Give her the invite, right?
Well, she did that this morning. She approached me with it, and I just sat there and took it in, listened to her, stared her in the eyes, and let her explain what was going on, and vented about her mom, health-wise, because mom won't listen. She's eating poorly, and whole 9 yards. Anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
So I did let her just vent, go with that, and then.
Cool. So go back to her later.
Do.
Go back to her later after you reflected, and show her that you care. Show her that you listen. Show that she's seen and heard. Go, hey babe, I was thinking about it today, and either you do or you don't understand what that feels like, right? I don't really understand what that feels like, but I can imagine how awful that is, and the other stressors of how serious this is, of course, and you'll have to fill in the blanks here, right? I completely understand, I understand how difficult this is, and that's because you've been through it. Don't relate it back to you, just reflecting. I remember how hard it was, I think you're doing a great job,
Well, I kind of screwed up because I come back later. I got thinking about it. I always walk her mom's dog. And her mom is not moving much, which is called exacerbating the problem. Once you sit still for long, you get fucking sore, and then you get sore, you don't want to move, and then you get more sore, and it just fucking compounds. So I told her, I said, hey, when I take her mom's, when I take the dog for a walk, it's a pretty easy walk. Why don't I start taking your mom? Get her out moving. She's like, yeah, she definitely needs that. So, all right, well, me and Michael will try to get her to walk every day with us when we take the dog around the lake.
So do it differently. Don't ask for permission. You know, you don't now.
Yeah.
I know that you probably do need to ask, but don't ask for permission. Say, hey, babe, you know what I was thinking? I take whatever Fido for a walk every single day.
Yeah.
What do you think about getting your mom out for the fresh air? See, I'm smiling. I'm a little more adventurous. A little more real. You're not like, sort of, what do you think? Is this okay? Like, you know, it, like this is more of a take charge.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you could say, listen, I had a great idea. I'm taking Fido for a walk every day. I'm going to take your mom with me. I think she could use the fresh air. See a different tone there,
Okay.
right? But you just make the
Yeah.
decision. And then this one would maybe force her into ramming into the side of your car, right? Well, why? What do you want to do
Yeah.
that for? Whatever. I think you need to start getting a little bit more adventurous, a little more fun. Bring some of the other energy in the home. So that's why I suggested it the first way. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking I had done it the No Mr. Nice Guy way by trying to fix everything,
That's correct.
which is what I'm used to doing. So
That's
that's why I'm like,
correct.
well, fuck, I shouldn't have done that.
But this is something she's not doing and you're already doing. So it's something that, like, if you just make the decision and do it, even if you're sort of asking the way I suggested for you with a little more adventure, what do you think? Right?
Yeah.
Like, the point is that it's not fixing anything. It's caring for her mom, your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Okay.
Good reflection, by the way. Okay.
Thank you.
You got it. What else you guys got? Oh, Kelly, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just got some questions that kind of touched on everything that you've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, would like when you're talking to Todd about those different variants of connection, like maybe she's just yelling at you, get the fuck away from me, and maybe it progresses to yeah, it's how's your day? Yeah, it's all right, to so I'm curious, like, what is it that gets, like, how do you move up those rungs? How do you get, because mine has been just, just like the.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I'm going to go like you can. So if you guys are thinking about working your way up the lower rungs of the rejection ladder, okay, the only way to do that is to be a man with impact, right? So you've already been a man of power. You've already released your wife. You're already taking responsibility for yourself. And so there you can't possibly run back to blaming your wife, becoming defensive, etc. Okay. So as long as you maintain your power. Okay. Now, when you use man with impact, then it's simple, right? By responding, not reacting, we solidify man in power, man with impact. We solidify the peace pillar. If it's safe for your wife and she can trust you again, this is what allows her to start opening conversations again, right? If she doesn't feel safe, she's not comfortable, because if she thinks that you're still going to get defensive or blame her or really undermine the new you by going back to old habits, then we're not going to have a good conversation. In fact, that's when she shuts down. How is your day? Right? It's why she's not running over to say hello, or at least saying hi when you come home. Right? If she knows always the underlying tone, let's say your kids always get you, right? Or you come home and bitch about your day every single day, or it's the same story every single day and she's bored out of her mind, what would make anyone think that she'd want to engage in another conversation, right? So that's why it's always the energy, the yes tone, doesn't matter what her mood is, right? Then you can start to have conversations. As those conversations happen, and sometimes it's not what you want, it's about the kids, for example. Cool, easy opportunity to have a conversation, but you continually show. So if you disagree, you guys, Kelly, disagreed on birthday parties. You wanted to do it together, she didn't, she wanted to do her own thing, whatever. But when you continually show up, she starts to see it's okay. So then gradually that leans into where she starts to maybe just randomly tell you something or open up when you ask with curiosity, right? And so She starts to know that you care. You see, she can feel that you care if you're not going back to blaming her, if you're not defending yourself. This is why she starts to feel seen and heard. Making sense why it's the peace pillar? She's trusting you again. She doesn't need so much space. She doesn't feel so smothered when you use man in control. And you're in control of why you're making decisions. What is holding you out of that nice guy triangle is right there, right? And then she doesn't feel smothered. She doesn't feel safe. She feels like, doesn't want space. She feels safe and she can trust you. And then that grows. And as that grows, so do you climb the rejection ladder. Okay. And as you go up the rejection ladder, you're going to find that more and more things will be more challenging, right? So now if we're exchanging some funny texts and some cute banter, okay, we've worked our way up. Good. And now we've all of a sudden gotten to where we're flirting. Well, some of your wives are like, stop it. You're always crossing my boundary. That means she didn't feel safe enough yet. Use that to respond well with impact and show her that it's okay because you handle that rejection. And you just keep doing this over and over and over again, except for it gets better and better and better, right? Because you're climbing the ladder.
Okay, with that being said, so I feel like, number one, I feel like it has gotten better. There has been, she has opened up. For example, the other night, the date night, it totally went to shit, but we ended up, I went to Plan B, brought dinner over, and we ended up having a good little hour chat. And it was, I was prepared. I was able to, just let her talk. And so there was an opening there. And this is another question for you, is because so she's been having, she's been telling me that she's having anxiety. She's been having a lot of anxiety. And during this chat, it was mentioned that some of these feelings are towards me. That's why it's hard for her to open up to me, because it's because of me. So my question is, yesterday she called me and said, "Hey, can I pick up the girls? She left work early. I'm having real bad anxiety. I just need them. I need her blanket, her comfort blanket.
Sure.
Can I just pick them up and bypass our normal routine so I can have them?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, "But I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it at all." Because I asked her what was going on, what's wrong. And she said, "Listen, I don't want to talk about it." And the same with later on that evening, I had to run some errands, and I said, "Hey, listen, I haven't got to see the girls in 2 days. Would you mind if I stop by just to say hi to the girls?" "Yeah, as long as I don't want to have any conversations." So my first instinct, I don't try not to jump to conclusions, but I feel like it is because, man, and in my mind, I'm actually feel like that's a win. I feel like that is a good sign that this anxiety is something to do with me. Maybe she's seeing the changes and it's
hold
causing
on.
me.
Possibly. It could be more than likely that she's seeing the changes, right? And so that she's feeling like, yeah, I don't want to like this, right? I'm afraid,
Yeah.
right? But also, she could have just had a really bad day at work, right?
Right.
Yeah. But she's dropping clues like you wouldn't believe. She's telling you nonstop, I don't want to talk about it. This isn't the first time we've heard this. We've heard this a lot. We know how you speak, right? We know that this is something that you've got to work on. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're using curiosity wrong there. When she's having anxiety and you've already reflected that it could be a lot to do with you, let her have her anxiety. She's got to work through that. The best thing you can do is continue to show up. Yeah, babe, no problem. Take the girls. I think that's awesome. And then I wouldn't have followed up with, I haven't seen the girl for 2 days. I would have been patient for one more day, right? Hey, babe, can I see the girls? Unless you were supposed to have them. You know what I mean? And the reason is simple. Again, go back to what she's feeling. She's probably addressing the fact that she's noticing the changes. Let her feel that. Let her reflect that. Let her be curious, right? And if you're going to use curiosity, it'd be like, hey, babe, is there anything I can do? You know, that way you can take the girl straight home. Just go enjoy your safety blanket. Use her words, right? And you know, I could drop off dinner for you. Won't stick around. You know what I mean? Say a quick hello to the girls. That might have been a better way to introduce the girls.
Yeah.
Right. To
Yeah.
well, introduce so that you could see them. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Because and then that's another that leads me to another like itch that I just cannot scratch is, man, I want to help. I want to, you know, like, just not. I said that wrong. I want her to want to help. Like, what is it? Do I just hang on? Just be patient? Is it just the patience thing again that I'm having troubles with? Because like, you know, like we've talked about it a little bit, and I've nonchalantly, you know, like not forcing it, but just have told her, like, listen, I had a lot of the same issues. If you ever need to talk about any of this, or if you ever want some advice on how to handle some of this stuff,
No, not yet. She doesn't trust you yet. You give her anxiety. Even if it's back to just the fact that you used to talk too much and she's having a bad day at work and she's having anxiety around that. Like, we actually don't know yet, right? And she's moved out of the house, she wants a divorce, and so you're just fixing things, right? And women don't need a fixer, right? When you're partners, they'll want support, right? But we tend to get into this fixer mode. You know, all these new tools, you're learning them and you're practicing well, you're helping men, and you know you have some great resources for your wife when it comes to anxiety. You know, Andy said something to me yesterday, same thing about an issue that Catherine has at times. Like, have you ever thought about getting her into art of embodiment? And I was like, no, she has her ways to deal with it. You know, like, I'll offer suggestions, but we're in a different state right now. She doesn't want to fix her. She just wants to have her feelings, and that's what you're missing here with Man with Impact. You need to let her feel, right? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because she's definitely, you know, in that conversation the other day, she kind of spilled onto me some of the stuff that she was going through, reflecting on her own stuff, and she's told me some of the things that she was doing. Not a lot, but it was definitely, I could definitely tell that she is working on herself. That she's leveling up, and there's just a side of me that, like I said, I want to combine our powers.
Yeah, well, of course. So we have to talk about your patience thing again here. But first things first, think about it like this. If you want to support your wife, okay, meaning she's leveling up and you're leveling up and you have different skill sets, right? In that conversation, ask her about it. So she starts talking about anxiety, for example, you know, and I'm trying EMDR. And I don't know, you know, I feel like I don't know if it's like, well, I didn't find EMDR worked a ton for me. Would you like to hear about what I did? No, I don't. Cool. But you're not coming across like fixing, right?
Right.
You know, because the point is to relate, you know, and there's so many different ways that you could say that. You might have to be a little more gentle, a little more slow, right? Like, oh yeah, really? What are you finding that's difficult with EMDR? You know, and you kind of you work your way through the process too. Yeah, I didn't
just
find
both the curiosity and.
Yeah, you're trying to learn about her. Why is everybody always going to rush for a conversation, right? You want the conversation. You try to talk about how to get up the ladder, and that you're trying to get through to the next step, right? You're trying to get to the difficult shit. It's easier. It's easier if we don't have to get to the difficult shit in the same way. Okay.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That's like I said, that's all I need to hear was just where I stand and what.
Well, where you stand, more importantly, is your patience. You have to remember what you want. What is the dream outcome here? I want my wife, I want my family back together, and I want to be the new man that's going to bring that into fruition. I'm going to make that fucking happen. So I'm not thinking about how long do I wait. I'm remembering that I caused some damage and that I can't be that guy. And daily you come to us with reflections. You're really participating and you're growing and you're rising up. And so I can tell you right now, you're nowhere near finished your journey. I know that we're never finished our journey, but there's a state when you're like, damn it, yes, this is who I am. And right now, because you're identifying that with her, you can't fully grasp that. First you, then we grab her.
Well, yeah, I feel like I'm hitting those stages like every fucking week or every month. I'm hitting like
But you're
an
not.
all-time high.
But you're not. That's you validating yourself instead of deeper reflection needed, right?
Well,
Oh man, hold on.
True.
You talk like a motherfucker, and your wife's telling you not to talk twice, and you're still asking her how I can fix it. Fucking no, right? So dig deep. Be a man of power. Go. I still have room because that's foundational in the reset, right? And then we get to it more and more in the next 2 modules. Okay.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. I'm hitting new levels in different areas, but yeah, I guess I'm not pinpointing where I need to be focused at. Maybe shutting the fuck up is where I need to start focusing more on, and patience, how to maybe meditation or something.
Yeah,
getting in those.
Thinking about shutting the F up a little bit differently though. It's not that I want you to be quiet. You don't have a voice. You don't have feelings. You don't have needs. It's that right now there's something foundational that needs to take place. That's your wife needs to feel, needs to get these emotions out, needs to understand the anxiety is not real because you are not that guy. But when you undermine the new guy by doing the old guy things, then she doesn't actually ever get there. So it's not that you can't have feelings. It's that your past actions, past words, all the types of ways and behaviors that you showed up before, she has an assumption of who you are now. That's also confusing. That's what's causing anxiety. Good, it's working. Now go back and finish the foundation. And then these other things, man, you'll blend together, dude, and you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt who you are. And I guarantee you, if you're like every other man that gets to that stage, when they come to me and they're like, should I talk about boundaries now? What if I have to leave or end this? They always go, I'm not ready yet. Because that man honors his fucking commitment.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
Cool.
I'm not saying that lasts for a lifetime. Right? Because we can't control her. But you have a different mindset. You think differently. And that changes your perspective. Okay?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. All right. Matthew, you have your hand up?
Yes, sir. I'm dealing with a little bit of car ramming here with the whole setting up. I did what you told me to do. I went ahead and set up some scheduled dates, out for each week.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the calendar, made sure there was openings, and I slid us in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting backlash from her, of course. When Anna I getting backlash regarding that I'm copping out and I'm being a chicken because I'm not consulting her about the dates. I'm just plugging us in. So in her mind, it's being sneaky. I just came back and said, I just want to spend time with you. I want guaranteed time set aside every week for me and you. And it's only a couple hours slot, just a little bit, during the week when we have the kids. And I was just wondering what your thoughts on that was.
I think you're being too defensive. And that sounds desperate and needy, which we feed into a lot, and you really do. Right? So she's challenging you. This is what her MO is, right? She wants you to lead. You start to lead. She pulls back to see if you'll lead, and then you don't lead, right? You start to defend yourself and look for approval, okay? So at least you're not going rogue. You're not, going down an anger binge or self-wallowing. So that's a step. You're moving up, dude, okay? But quite simply, just bring the adventure, man, right? And so you know what I mean by that? So tell her, right? Something like you just did, like with your wife, no doubt you could say something like, yeah, babe, just making sure you're secured in my calendar. Got a slot for you already laid out so that I can get into your slot. Like your wife would probably love that, right? Like,
yeah.
Then on the flip side, most of you guys should not do that, by the way, but his wife is a little different there. So now the other way, though, is of course, she's not told you this once before. She's told you this many times before. She likes to know what's going on. In her mind, she knows it's happening then because you have a
Yes.
tendency to start and stop, to plan and
Yes.
then back out, to organize something and then self-sabotage with a safe reaction, protect yourself, right? So she's holding you accountable, dude. Nagging sometimes is not bad. It's just understanding she's just holding you accountable, right?
Okay.
So give her gratitude. Hey, babe, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate you bringing to my attention that I should be letting you know what the dates. I know how important that is for you. And P.S. I know how shitty I could be with starting and stopping the plans, right? And then share the calendar with her. That doesn't mean you can't still surprise her. Those would be the bonuses. Catherine
Okay.
doesn't like the surprises. Her birthday party that I
You're
was
talking about
planning.
surprises as far as like impromptu, like just kind of like
Yeah,
out of a whim. Hey, let's go do this. Let's go do that.
Yeah, that would work better for you
Okay.
than you telling your wife, just like Catherine. Catherine doesn't want to know Friday night, 8 p.m. She wants to know where we're going and what she's fucking with. Right? So just same thing for any surprise for her. Get to know your wife a little bit. Your wife is totally different. She likes to know what's going on so that she knows it's happening. She wants to know the plan
Yes.
is real. She's also along the way going to challenge you. Your wife is going to say, that's a bad idea. Why don't you pick something like this? When you do something with like a date like this, where we're doing the Gottman card decks or whatever, or we're going to this wine bar, you're actually just doing that because you don't want to talk, or I don't know, whatever. I purposely said Gottman card decks and not want to talk because she can be that bad with you. You just got to respond. Okay. And have fun. Bring that player, that guy that started busting out your dad jokes. You know, you're good at him. That's who you are. Be that guy then. You know what I mean? And then to top it off, then when she's not challenging you, embrace it. Be even more fun, charismatic, the guy that you have in you. Bring her along for the ride. She's always saying she wants it. Does she do her own safe reactions and sabotage? Absolutely. But she's not in a program.
Mhm.
You are. Right?
Okay.
Okay. You feel good?
Yeah, I feel good about it. I have a nice little plan. There's a nice little scenic road. It's called Holy Hill that has all like wooded areas. It's a very narrow road, very windy, and it's beautiful this time of year with all the fall colors. And we like looking at fall colors.
Right.
So I told her I'd like to take her on that road and enjoy all the fall colors.
Okay. Cool. Organize a photographer. Get some pictures. Save the memory. Marketplace. Catherine finds them all on Marketplace. Super cheap. They're just looking for, or sometimes they just want photos for their website.
Or I can just be the photographer too. Say, hey, baby, let's get out and take a selfie right here.
No, man.
Beautiful background.
No, man. That's what everybody fucking does. Go get a photographer organized. Take 10